Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. The other week I posted a video about a new game in my collection, Masters of the Universe Battleground, which was a birthday gift from my family and something I'm incredibly excited about. In that video, I talked about how I was a little bit disappointed that Teela and Beastman weren't included in the core game, although I suspected they would appear in the first wave of expansions. After posting that video, I found an online roadmap for the game which gave a rough outline of expansion details leading up to Christmas. According to the roadmap, there would be 4 new characters in June, 2 for the Masters of the Universe and 2 for the Evil Warriors. There would be a new map with terrain and missions in August, 4 more characters in October, and then the arrival of the Evil Horde in December. True to this plan, on June the 29th, Archon Studio announced the first 2 expansion packs, and that's what I'm talking about briefly today. They are currently up for pre-order on the Archon Studio website, but the actual release date is language dependent. English, Polish and German editions are set to arrive in July, while Spanish, French and Italian versions arrive in August. Each pack contains 2 characters, some new plastic terrain elements and all the necessary cards and rules to introduce them to your games, and they are priced at $18 each. Now that price surprised me. I think that's exceptionally reasonable considering how much extra gameplay and how many more force building options 2 new characters per side and a handful of cards provides, especially as this is a licensed game. As an added bonus, if you pre-order from the Archon Studio website, you get some free plastic mana tokens. The only issue really is the shipping. To get both expansions shipped to the UK, the postage was an additional $20, so that's something to be aware of. If you aren't worried about the mana tokens and don't mind possibly waiting a few more weeks, you may be better off ordering from a local retailer or your online retailer of choice. In this video, I'm not going to talk about the expansions in too much detail for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because we only have a few pictures and a brief description of the expansions to go on. But more importantly, I have already pre-ordered them and will do full unboxings and reviews later on. Nevertheless, let's look a bit closer and see if these are truly something worth getting excited about. The first expansion is for the Masters of the Universe and includes the Sorceress and Teela. I'm so pleased to see both of these characters making an early appearance, and the miniatures look excellent. Teela is in a particularly dynamic pose. The sculptors for this game seem to like balancing people on one leg, but in my experience the results never seem flimsy or top heavy. It's a good strong action pose. The Sorceress looks like she's about to transform into Zor. They probably should have included a falcon miniature with her. That would have been awesome. The set also includes 3 plastic terrain elements. I thought these were portals, but apparently they are force fields. Movable blocking terrain should be a fun inclusion for the game and should cause problems for all those pesky long range attacks the Evil Warriors like to employ. Looking at the frame for the miniatures, it looks like the force fields are single pieces, the Sorceress is 4 pieces and Teela is 5. Most of the core set miniatures were in a lot more pieces than that, so hopefully these will go together nice and quickly, but will still be up to the same standard as the core set stuff, which I thought was very good. Finally, the set includes 16 new cards. They only show 11 in the promotional pictures, but we're getting the new character cards, new weapons, items and new fate cards. The fate cards wasn't something I was expecting, as the core set already included a massive selection. One of the items we can see is a force field rod, which you discard to spend an action and create 3 force fields on the board. It's a bit of a shame to see the new terrain elements linked to a single specific item like that, but I guess there's nothing stopping me from coming up with scenarios that make use of the force field miniatures in different ways. You can also see Teela's sword in the pictures. It gives her a free movement if she gets at least 2 successes when attacking. A nice way to represent her nimbleness and quick wits, as she attacks and then ducks out of harm's way. Moving on, we have the second expansion for the Evil Warriors. The set contains Beastman and Scareglow, and while I'm not incredibly excited about Scareglow, I can think of a dozen characters I would have preferred to have seen in this expansion. The inclusion of Beastman makes me very happy indeed. I really feel like this first wave of expansions rounds out the starting forces I really expect to see as the base offering for a good Masters of the Universe dust-up. The Beastman miniature looks excellent. Look at that, another character standing on one leg. It really captures his ferocious nature, and they made the wise choice of coiling his whip on his belt so you don't have a long thin piece of plastic to deal with. Scareglow looks suitably intimidating, and he has a halberd that looks like it was lifted straight out of the packaging of a Masters of the Universe toy. This pack also includes 2 new terrain elements. little teleports for moving around the board more efficiently. That sort of thing is always fun in a skirmish game where movement and positioning are half the battle. I can already imagine Beastman leaping out behind someone to grab them in his trademark bear hug. The frames show that the terrain elements are single pieces and the characters are in fewer parts than most of the core game miniatures. Scareglow appears to be 5 pieces while Beastman is 4. And again we are getting 16 cards, including a new belt that gives you a strength boost if you have at least 2 wounds, and a cloak that gives you a defense boost if there are any nearby characters with a debuff token. And this is something I'm sure I will talk about more in my review for this game, but is worth mentioning here. I really like the design of the items and weapons. Very few items just give you a straight stat boost like +1 strength or +1 toughness. They have interesting designs that provide benefits if you use them the right way and create strategies around them, like the polarizer that will give you +1 perception but only if you have a focus token, otherwise it reduces your perception, or the amulet of avarice that gives you a power boost if there are no enemies within 6 inches or else actually lowers your power rating. It's much more interesting to build forces around cards like that. It gives you more to think about and you have to weigh up the benefits against the negative consequences. An item that gives you +1 toughness is useful for any character, but an item that gives you a boost under specific circumstances requires more careful consideration, and that's good stuff. But I digress. Let's summarise. Each pack is 2 new characters, and for a skirmish game where you only have 4 or 5 characters per side, that opens up a lot of new options, along with new terrain with special rules and 16 new cards for even more choices when putting together your force. I may not be 100% sold on Scareglow as an early addition to the Evil Warriors, but as I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting every single character they release for this game, I guess I can't complain too much. My pre-order is locked in. Look out for a full unboxing and review once these expansions hit my doorstep. Until then, that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you've really enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so, and hopefully I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.